but it will be the Christ consciousness awakening, will be the true return of Christ energy. But then I see the big giant balloon with all these real estate signs in it pop in the coming years, again in this window of time, 2026 to 2030, we'll say. So many things are going to shift and change, including the land masses, the GPSs. They'll be in the coming years, again in this window of time, 2026 to 2030, we'll say. So many things are going to shift and change, including the land masses, the GPSs. There'll be a point where things will have to be remapped and redone. Places like Pakistan, after this outbreak that they send into India, so it is biological, will cause their own crumbling and their own karma to come into them. Many of the 13 Islamic nations will continue to try to drop things on the rest of the world in the coming years, especially when the great conflict breaks out within the next coming years. And then I just see it circled on a map, Niagara Falls, with red ink. But we will know the truth. Our intuition will be so strong. We will become so connected in vibration with the earth and Pachamama once again. And after this activity that ignites around the Mediterranean, and especially in Greece and the islands in this volcanic eruption, expect a larger volcanic eruption to occur in Italy. I see evacuations, boats, people getting in boats and trying to get out of there as fast as they can. Good day, beautiful friends. Spiritual medium Joseph Tittel coming at you from gorgeous Sedona, Arizona. And I hiked out here today 2 miles to this wonderful spot that I just absolutely love and wanted to share it with you today, because I'm going to find a spot, which I already did over there in the shade, and I'm going to do some meditation and see what my spirit guides and the spirits of the land might have to share with us about future events, predictions, or what have you. So join me as we tap into the spirit world from this beautiful location right here in Sedona, Arizona. My little secret location, because it's so quiet here other than the wind and a few little flies. Yeah, it's going to be fun, friends. So let's get it together, see what kind of information we get from the spirits today. And I'll show you a little bit of this when we're done. And off we go. Of course, I'll edit out all the pauses and how long it takes me to actually get into my little trance state of consciousness. And I think somebody just beeped my phone, so let's do not disturb that. And off we go. Enjoy the journey, friends. Hello, I'm going to remove my hat because it blocks the crown chakra. First, of course, my guides tell us all that we should be doing exactly what I'm doing right here, right now. Getting outside into the elements. Even if it's cold out, bundle up. Take your time to find a little space, a rock to sit upon like I am, and just take some time to quiet your mind, listening to the sounds of nature. Sounds of nature help you to quiet your mind, focus on your breath, and just connect your roots to the earth. This will help you to unplug from all of the chaos and all of the negativity that's happening around you in the world. Spirit shows me to unplug your telly. Unplug your telly from the mass media, from the narratives and the propaganda that they are putting out in front of us each and every day. For in the coming months, we're going to see more and more of this being pushed upon us. And so many flags that are going to fly ever so falsely in a direction of throwing us off so that we look over here instead of looking over there, while they are recalibrating the banking system and all of the wealth into their pockets and into their accounts without worrying about the people and what will happen to the people in a total time of collapse. None of the leaders have your backs. None of them care. The Epstein files. The Epstein files is just a small little partial, little by little leak that they're still using, they being the globalists or those in power that are really pulling the strings, the puppeteers at the top of the ladder. It is those who are utilizing the Epstein files in many different forms. First, to deter your attention away from what's really happening again in the banking system, and to get you to be in fear, to sell all your metals, to dump off all of your physical assets so that when they deplete everything, you will have nothing. Like the WEF says, you will own nothing and be happy. They will not fulfill their mission because you will see in the coming years organizations and secret cults coming into the light, like the Skull and Crossbones that organized the United Nations. The United Nations is a deterioration. I see a vision of the United Nations literally being swept away by a tsunami wave. Spirit's way of showing us that the United Nations will not hold strong much longer. The United Nations is very much connected to the fallen angels and to the darkness that swept upon this planet thousands of years ago. If you look at the ancient scriptures and the scriptures of the Bible, you'll see that the United Nations is centered right on Mount Hermon, right where Jesus last ascended, and right where the fallen angels have fallen to. There is no coincidences in this whatsoever. The light is shining, the light is shining. They all will fall. Ashes, ashes, all go down. It's this window of time, this period of time between 2026 and 2030 where you will begin to witness the most chaotic events across the planet. That's why it's very important that you unplug from the media, again, the propaganda and all the things are being pushed out. Get outside, connect with Earth and the vibrations of the Earth, for she will guide you in these times. She and the spirits of the Earth are all that you have to guide you through this time. Be sure to always just be prepared for any situation that may happen, no matter where you may reside. Things are going to get really intense by the time you step into 2028. 2028, 2029 is when you'll see the most chaos and conflict across the globe. The conflicts will be very short-lived before Mother Earth comes in and shifts and things turn. Things from under the water rise again. Things above the water will fall below the waters. The Epstein files are being utilized continuously to bribe others within these places of power to get them to do what the cult wishes for them to do. This is still going to be released, including those within the cult or the high-powered families that are weaved into this web of darkness. Those that actually weave the web of darkness. You will begin to see in the coming years many falling from these big families, passing away, lineage being flushed down the toilet, from the Rothschilds to the Chases to many, many, many others. Keep your eyes peeled, for it will be the light that goes in and shines troopers upon them. The light will be the assassins that take down these globalist families that have been ruling upon this earth for thousands of years. This knowledge, this wisdom is now coming to the surface. Soon you will all see this truth is already being surfaced. Again, with the files like Epstein, revealing things that are very sick, sadistic, and cultish, because that is exactly what it is. This has been run through all organizations, all governments are weaved within this web of darkness. This will all be released in the coming years, little by little, and a big bombshell break in a case that will ignite even more around these files and other things. But beware, as governments will continuously, especially around Israel, flying flags ever so falsely to throw your attention away from what's really happening, to save their own butts from being put behind bars where many of them actually belong. I asked Spirit, is there any accountability? Spirit say, the accountability will be their fall. Symbolism, will be one of their biggest downfalls. But their accountability comes when they all fall and their families slowly begin to disintegrate and lose the control that they've had over everything for thousands of years. This is much deeper, much darker, much more involved and complex than people realize or understand. This understanding again will become a normal thing for people to know, the wisdom, the knowledge, where it all stemmed from, going all the way back to the time of the ancient Sumerians. And those bloodlines that continue to thrive and control. Why they continuously try to suppress the bloodline of the Christ energies. But it will be the Christ consciousness awakening will be the true return of Christ energy. This is also heading your way by the time you step into the early 2030s. By 2032, a new golden age will begin to reign. The globalists know this, and they're trying to use the golden age to their advantage, making it look like it's something great for you when it's all for themselves. But again, it will be Mother Earth that comes in and the awakening of the Christ consciousness energies within your own body, mind, spirit that change everything. And this is what has the globalist completely running in fear. They build their bunkers. They prepare because they are in fear. But those bunkers will become their tombs. I'm seeing the housing market. Well, actually, what I'm seeing is literally Spirit shows me these visions of real estate signs all floating in a big balloon floating up towards the sky. But then I see the big giant balloon with all these real estate signs in it pop. And then all the signs crash down upon the earth. And then when they crash to the earth, I see not signs crashing to the earth, but it's like the houses crash to the earth. It's the weirdest thing. I take this as a very easy interpretation that the housing bubble is about to burst by the latter part of this year. Something the light is trying to restore, to fight. But the globalists want to bring it all down. They're working really hard to do so. The precious metals that they wish for you to sell, for you to go into fear, to get rid of it all, to liquidate the physical. Do not liquidate the physical. Buy more. That makes them tread. Oddly, I suddenly see Martha Stewart, of all things. She's walking kind of a little crooked. She doesn't look very happy. Her vibe's very low. Her vibration's very low. And usually Martha Stewart usually has a higher vibration. So I would imagine that something's coming up around her that may be significant, maybe weaved into this darkness in some way or another. It's just definitely someone I would have never expected to see in a vision here today. Sorry if you hear that helicopter. I asked Spirit about viruses, outbreaks, things that we may need be concerned about, including the Nipah virus that's outbreaking in India right now. First thing Spirit says, they do have a sense of humor, I'd say, is be more concerned about what they try to protect you with and call it protection than the actual bug itself. I'm getting that the Nipah is not of great concern, that there's something of greater concern that can come in the future. And this looks more and feels more biological to me, and very well could be somehow connected to Pakistan. In the coming years, again, in this window of time, 2026 to 2030, we'll say, so many things are going to shift and change, including the land masses, the GPSs. There'll be a point where things will have to be remapped and redone. Places like Pakistan, after this outbreak that they send into India, so it is biological, will cause their own crumbling and their own karma to come into them. Many of the 13 Islamic nations will continue to try to drop things on the rest of the world in the coming years, especially when the great conflict breaks out within the next coming years. But those Islamic states in the end will collapse, and that will be the true fall of Babylon. Yeah, to me, the Spirit shows me, I see this vision, this random vision of somebody going through the airport, and again going into India, and they have something on them that's toxic. Somehow or another, they're managing to get past the airport security. They're able to bring it into the country. I'm asking for a timeline. I don't have a timeline, but I don't feel like it's necessarily in the near future. India will rise up afterwards through all of what's to come in the coming years. I keep being taken to Niagara Falls. It's really strange because I've been to Niagara Falls before in the past, but Spirit takes me to Niagara Falls as if I'm a tourist again, walking along the path. I remember it very well. And then I just see it circled on a map, Niagara Falls, with red ink. Something's happening around Niagara Falls. The red circle to me would indicate that it becomes circle of concern, perhaps. A circle of controversy. Maybe even some discoveries that come in and truth revolved around Niagara Falls. And speaking of falls and water, I see that water is going to become another huge focus as we enter into the months of late June, July, and August. I see lots of rumblings of the waters beneath the ocean and beneath the sea. Not necessarily in that time period. I'm taken to the Mediterranean, especially around Greece and some of the Greek islands. I get this sense that things are about to rattle from deep below, even deep beneath the Mediterranean Sea. This could even bring some big, large waves of water to certain coastlines surrounding almost the entire Mediterranean Sea. It feels like something's literally being disrupted in the very center of the Mediterranean. And I feel this feeds into a major volcanic eruption in Greece, around the islands. I see evacuations, boats, people getting in boats and trying to get out of there as fast as they can. After this activity that ignites around the Mediterranean, and especially in Greece and the islands in this volcanic eruption, expect a larger volcanic eruption to occur in Italy. We're going to see a lot of things revolved around the water and waters when we step into the months of June, July, and August. This would be definitely a time where we could see activations of tsunamis, tidal waves, rogue waves, boats being flipped from rogue waves, and other water-related issues. I see major destruction from water and water-related issues, and likely tsunami-related around the Philippines. I see evacuations taking place in around Indonesia. And that part of the Indian Ocean over there also feels like it's starting to flare up in the coming year. And by the latter part of 2026. Sending another massive volcanic, or bringing another major volcano, bringing another major earthquake to Myanmar and around that area. Something happening around Bali, a big shaking. The waters look very rough in that area of the globe in the coming months, especially in the summer months. Spirits say to take the tsunami warnings very, very seriously, even for our friends in throughout Japan. I'm seeing a major wildfire that ignites right near Los Angeles, California. Reminds me of Palisades quite a bit. Seems like California is in for some heartaches in the near future, including seismic activity all the way from the northern part of Mexico, the southern part of California, all the way up to Vancouver Islands. That whole area is going to be flared up like it has hemorrhoids. See some kind of evacuations, I would suppose, in around Oregon, perhaps Portland. Like people were fleeing, people were getting away. I think this would be from some type of threat, perhaps, again, seismic threat, or some other type of threat. Has people kind of fleeing. I'm not saying that this is all this year. Some of this could even fall into 2027. The Earth is just waking up. May look like she's been awake for a while, but she's really just waking up and beginning to stretch her legs. And everything with the Earth's plates are shifting. Again, things lifting out of the water, things going into the waters. Water is becoming a huge concern. I see a port. I'm on a coastline. Kind of like I'm high up in a building looking down towards the water, and I see this huge wave. I guess it would be a tsunami wave that washes away a complete port. And I see even the shipping containers all just getting washed into the waters. This is huge. It feels like it's related to the Pacific, likely the northern Pacific. I feel that Alaska, I keep saying Alaska, and I see so much happening around Alaska. First, things revolved around Alaska related to weather and the shifts. A large wildfire that takes place in Alaska. I feel like Alaska is going to be a big focus. Kind of like Greenland was a big focus for a while. I feel like Alaska is going to become a big focus. Not to mention, again, these big shifts in the plates and things that are going to affect Alaska and all throughout Alaska. I'm even being taken to parts of the Arctic. Spirit shows me like a combination of warmth that's warming everything. But then I also feel that there's earthquakes that cause these big glaciers to break off the Arctic. And things are going to be revealed in Antarctica very quickly. We already know the center of Antarctica is already blotched out by Google Earth, GPS. But soon they're going to have to blotch out the whole continent because so much is about to be revealed when it comes to Antarctica. All of the Arctics hide so much. And governments and the globalists worked very diligently to keep that hidden from us. But their own technologies are sabotaging against themselves. Artificial intelligence and mainly the internet, because the truth is being revealed and they can't hold back. So that's why they throw out so much of their propaganda and their fake stuff to confuse the masses and confuse the people. But soon the people will begin to remember. They'll begin to remember their history, remember things as we go through these times of ascension and ascension codes in the coming years. They can lie all they want, but we will know the truth. Our intuition will be so strong. We will become so connected in vibration with the earth and Pachamama once again. And that will be the time where, again, they fall. Their decline is already happening. This is why they run in fear. This is why they run in fear. Soon we're going to see so many things happening in the skies, and that's another battle that Spirit shows me. It's the battle between the globalists with all of their flying machines that they have worked on for many decades, along with the real true galactic beings that are here to help us thrive. And there'll be a battle in the skies, not necessarily a battle like war, but a battle as to who are the real ones and who are the governments and the globalists and the dark governments, the cabal. You're going to begin to see these sightings very strongly in the coming months, especially around the time of July. There will be an arrival that happens in early April as well. Spirit shows me so many things are going to shift when it comes to being able to see these flying UFOs, UAPs, and people even identifying or connecting on a stronger level with galactic beings, especially through even meditations, channeling, receiving that information. But it'll be the dark ones trying to fight so hard to make us think that we need to fear the galactic beings. And it's really them that we need to fear. They are the ones portraying the darkness. They are the ones pushing the fear. The good ones are in the background watching, waiting for us to open up, knowing that it's going to happen soon. So many sit around the earth watching closely. Things that are occurring now and coming up in the next few years is something that's never happened on any planet in the universe before. It actually is an exciting time, an exciting shift, an exciting conquering of the darkness, and a stepping into the light and the higher vibrational energies. But with that comes a great fight. With that comes great dedication and great focus. It's important, again, to stay grounded, to stay connected to the earth, to always have proper amounts of supplies to help you out in case of an emergency. We're going to see so many people beginning to move from different places. There's this mass migration of people happening across the planet. And it's not the mass migration that we see from open borders or from conflicts pushing people out of territories and looking for safety zones. This is a migration of people being called by the spirits of the land and their own ancestors to go to more level vibrational land to reside, to raise their families, places that feel more vibrant to them. You will be called to this. Follow your heart, follow your soul, and know that you can be guided too, simply by staying grounded and knowing that those guides are there, helping you each and every day. Go with that first instinct. Know that they're there. The more you acknowledge this, the stronger and stronger it's going to get each and every day. And this is what humanity needs more than anything to fight the darkness. Tapping into our intuition taps us into the truth, and the truth of who we all are, where we all have come from, and why we have all chosen to come back at this exact time on the planet Earth. Pachamama. I'm seeing Netanyahu, and the way I see him, it's as if I'm looking at him through a telescope with a, crosshair. He's in the crosshairs. He's in the crossfire. Someone in the distance scoping him out, waiting for the prime opportunity. Except I feel that this assassin will actually be apprehended. But someone's going after him very strongly in the near future. And I have this strong feeling that the Crown Prince is behind it all. Saudi Arabia. Shady things go on behind the walls of Saudi Arabia. Nobody can trust them outside of the Saudis themselves, says the spirits. Great changes of power. Great changes of power. As all these truths become more of everyday knowledge and wisdom, and people become more aware of those who have been holding power on this planet in positions and in governments for too long that have not held our best interests in heart. This is where the light starts to step in, and we will see these leaders falling and new leaders going in their place. Sometimes it may take one or two replacements before the light workers go into their spot. those that are here to shed light, that really truly do have the people as a community in their minds and in their hearts. No longer being about the greed, the money, or being controlled by lobbyists, big pharma, big oil, and all these corporations. That is all going to come to an end. There is light at the end of this dark tunnel that you are walking through. We're not even speeding through it because we have many years to go through this. But again, by unplugging from it, not being a part of it, and just watching it as if it's a movie that you're watching at the movie theater. And if things do get difficult, always know that that too will pass. You see Kim Jong-un. He looks very angry. Very, very angry. And I see him like with his finger, Kim Jong-un. And he's telling them, fire. Fire. So he's firing on somebody in the future. Maybe South Korea. But yeah, Kim Jong-un, North Korean leader. He seemed very angry with his finger up in the air. It looks like he's saying, fire, fire. And I hear what sounds like missiles taking off. This feels, of course, like a very bad decision on his part. Very bad decision. Taken into Iran. Spirit shows me that there are, just like within the United States, there's sleeper cells. The United States has sleeper cells, but more than anything, Israel has sleeper cells all throughout Iran. Just like they have sleeper cells within our own country, including Israel, by the way, says the spirits. They can't be trusted like you think they can be. There's some darkness that runs within that, like there are within all countries. It's a control. And I see these sleeper cells being unleashed in some form or another within Iran in the future. And then I see a flag that flies. It says the word false going across it. So it would be like activating sleeper cells as a false flag of some sort. And I feel like this can in turn activate the ones within the United States. Feels to me like this is all coming really soon, and perhaps even what spirit makes me feel like an Easter sacrifice that's about to take place. An Easter sacrifice. So a sacrifice usually means of many people. It's holding the light that doesn't happen. And remember, spirit reminds us not to at all believe what the media sells us in response to these events. For nothing is as it appears to be. Use your intuition. I believe these sleeper cells, mainly the ones hiding out in Iran, are going to activate some type of a large explosion. It's the weirdest thing I see. A beautiful bald head eagle, of course representative of the United States, taking off in flight. But then I hear a shot in the background, and I see that the eagle is shot in its one wing. The right wing, I believe. And then it falls slowly down into the trees, wounded. I take this as being symbolic, of course, representing the United States, and United States getting some type of a big hit, maybe to the right wing, to the Republicans, something really big coming out, a big shot to them. Or I could take it just as a big shot to America, like being hit, literally, with a bullet. And then keep seeing things revolved around July 4th, around celebrations here in the United States, especially around the 250-year anniversary. I know this is significant for America and Americans. It feels like I don't know if this is at all related potentially to me and seeing the eagle being shot out of the sky, meaning that maybe an attack of some sort on America. The eagle, again, the eagle afterwards, now I see the eagle coming back, letting its wing heal. So it was just shot in the wing. So I take that again as a shot to the United States. Not necessarily on July 4th, but somewhere around the time period of that 250-year anniversary. I see fire. I'm taken to the Eiffel Tower and I see fire. And I smell something burning very strong. I hear a little bit of chaos. And I see Paris, and then I see this very dark cloud that comes sweeping in, almost like the smoke of the fire. I feel like I'm seeing two separate things. First, fire around the Eiffel Tower. But then I take this dark smoke as something dark sweeping through France in the near future. I'm taken to Egypt, my favorite place I'd like to visit sometime soon. I'm taken to Egypt, and it's as if I'm in a drone or in an airplane, kind of zooming towards Egypt. I see the Sphinx like right in front of me. Great Pyramid, smaller pyramids. I'm very focused on the Sphinx, because we know there's a lot more buried beneath that and within that than they tell us or let us know. But I'm flying over the pyramids, and I'm going even further into the desert land. And then I see the desert land of Egypt, with the sand, the heat, but then I see great flood that comes and washes things away. And this great flood that comes, washes things away, reveals something new to archaeologists. Something that feels exciting because they can't cover it up, because the waters have revealed it. And then the spirits tell me the waters are going to reveal all kinds of things in the near future, in the not so far off future. I see somewhere where all of this stuff is washing up on the beaches. Toxic stuff washing on the beaches, and I don't know if this is sewage, medical waste. Part of me, I feel like I'm in Australia, maybe Western, not sure. But then I also feel here in the United States as well. We're going to see this, I guess, in the coming summer months, maybe even before summer. Lots of things, again, the water's revealing. So things coming onto the shores, revealing that they were dumping medical waste in the water, revealing the sewage or the trash. The ocean's going to start spitting things out. I still see a point, I might be in California, where I see all these bodies washing ashore. I don't know what this is from. It's really strange to me. We could say maybe a plane or a boat that maybe crashed out there and the bodies are coming to the shorelines. It's at least a dozen. Then Spirit shows me when all of the whales mixed with dolphins wash up on the shores in the south. I believe I'm near Australia, New Zealand, maybe even the tip of Chile. They will be signaling what's happening beneath the waters and signaling a coming quake, with the potential of causing small tsunami waves. All you hear is the bee or the fly. I think we're just going to stop right there and see what I have for now. I mean, you don't realize it, but I actually did 2 separate meditations. I had to break in the middle there. I'm going to go home and edit it and see what I have. Thank you to the spirits for the information, of course, for this beautiful spot. We'll have to come here again. I forgot the attachment that hooks my camera to the tripod, so it's just kind of sitting there. Thankfully, it's actually sitting there and working. Next time I'll have to remember that. And I very much hope that you all enjoyed. And if you did, please do hit that thumbs up love button. I'm going to take you on a little tour and show you a little bit of what we got going on here because it's amazing. All right, look how beautiful it is here, friends. I just thought I'd give you this little sneak peek at this little location. I was sitting over there. And it was right in these little trees here the other day where the deer was spying on me from right in there. It was pretty awesome, actually. 2 deer. Oh dear. But look at, can you see the faces in the mountains? Can you see the guardians of the rock buttes? Because they're there. Pretty awesome. You know, and then beyond over there is the actual vortex. I'd love to film on there, but the sun beats down the whole time and I can't really do it. But yeah, beautiful spot here. Love this spot. And in the summertime, it'd probably be too hot to come back here because hiking here is 2-mile hike. And the sun beats down the whole entire time. See?